RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief. The answer to your question is learn the goddamn process, trade your trading plans, don't take too much risk on any one trade, and just let yourself get rich. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our broadcast here, Monday morning. Where are we here? The 22nd of May. This is actually, I don't know, I think they call it a statutory holiday. In my country, I know the end of May here, I'm going to eat some banana while I'm talking to you. I'm a bit hungry. But the 22nd of May, this is a holiday here in Canada, so kind of a bit of a muted day. And I wonder whether, the 1% on these sort of weird semi-holidays, they often mess around with the market. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of shenanigans going on all around that. Interesting how the breadth indicator here on the dashboard is turned back up. I did notice that the crypto breadth almost broke down overnight. So I actually do have a daily sell pattern working on Bitcoin, and even now that's sort of the what do I call it? Three-step setup with the education program. I don't know whether it was an El Tenguinator or not, but there is that setup, the three-step setup, just working away here off the higher time frames. Not really a hell of a lot to get excited about on RSI here. Still have a couple divs working. I mean, maybe we actually W out here. I don't know. It's a tough one. There's really nothing to do on this setup, though. Just leave it alone. If we hit the 38.2, which is pretty typical sort of technical objective for markets, that would also be 50% of the anticipated range. I get to move my stop to scratch at that point. But really, even now, and actually I fully expect the next FOMC meeting is the 14th of June. And hopefully you guys have seen repeatedly of late that the markets seem to like to rally into these FOMC meetings. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's actually a bit of a bid that comes into the market into that. And then on the other side of that, all hell breaks loose. Usually the market likes to bottom around that July 4th US holiday weekend. So there's really nothing to do here. And I don't even really get bullish of Bitcoin again till we can get back on the other side of this trend line and start putting in bullish structure. So it's just big hurry up and do nothing there. Through the weekend though, and as you can kind of see here, and I was kind of talking about this in the broiler chicken show yesterday. It was pretty long-winded. Actually, I did ask for some feedback from the audience in that video yesterday, and the feedback I got was, man, you sure talked to yourself in circles there for about an hour or two. Anyway, I hope you got some value out of that. But anyway, the point being, this would be sort of the top end of the range setup. Wherever the hell that went. Is that over here? Yeah. And you're looking for a return to the mean, 50% rules, that kind of stuff. And then the question is, walking your way down this, can you find any trend continuation trades? And you can kind of see A to B, that's a pretty big move there. C to D off of this double top would take us down into here as well. And so that's what this setup is. The bot, I really want to see 3 lower highs here to define the trade. And you can clearly see that the market sure is interested in this level. We went through it a little bit last night. Then, as I said, it is a holiday session in some parts of the world. So it is a little bit of a wonky session here. And then also, too, the Americans right now, they're humming and hawing about whether they increase debt ceilings and all that kind of fun stuff. Hey, Eddie. Oh, Eddie's having dinner with us while he's watching. I miss you, buddy. So great. Hey, buddy. Hey, Chris, how does that line go? It's how does that from? That's
That's Eddie.
great. I miss Eddie. Eddie's a good character. Anyway, good to see you back on the lounge here.
I was watching your stuff, Bray. Good stuff.
You were watching my stuff?
Not your stuff specifically, just the chart.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. Anyway, so the point of the matter here is bearish setups, I think, actually are working. If we actually change this to like a line chart, you can actually see that M did actually confirm on a clothesline basis off this 4-hour chart yesterday. So 1 high, 2 highs, 3 highs. I got enough highs to justify thinking down here. And you never know in the market. We might just turn around and go blasting up. On this particular setup. And what I wanted to do was actually demonstrate this trade off of like KuCoin or something. But it turns out TRI, I don't even think TRI has any cryptocurrency accounts anymore. I mean, like literally all of the cryptocurrency places are all blowing up one by one by one, which kind of makes sense. Because in my education program, I had told you guys that I believe that the last fear cycle was all about sort of anti-money and anti-establishment and anti-trust in the system. And now we're back into the greed cycle. A lot of that should probably go away. And by the end of this greed cycle, you'll find that the US dollar index is booming to new highs and everybody's all uber bullish of the US dollar and the fiat currency system. It's just the way this game works. But good part about Bitcoin, and I think that especially in the space of sort of what do you would say, store of value, as long as this Fugazi joke of a society keeps going on, emperor's new clothes, that kind of stuff, Bitcoin should continue just working its way higher if it doesn't lose the whole POW concept. What is work actually worth in this world? So something like this kind of conversation, this is just short-term trading. It really has nothing to do with value. And we talked yesterday a bit about how do you figure out what value is in Bitcoin? That's all about cost of production. While we're up in this kind of nosebleedy area, they can move the market all over the place. And that's kind of what I think this conversation's all about. In fact, frankly speaking, I would even say that's what this conversation's all about. We're just banging around way above value. And, the 1%, of course, has securitized this asset. So they're just playing around with it and trying to break as many crypto kids' hearts as possible. Actually, I'm kind of interested. I have been actually buying some stock recently. I mean, everybody should look at this chart image and go, yeah, that's got Brian Beamish written all over it. So, there's a big spike they had on news that they have some interesting, this particular company has some interesting cancer testing results. And, they always say with these kind of things, cancer, the earlier you detect it, the better. Kind of screwed the order up a little bit this morning, which I'm a little disappointed about. I entered it in as a day order, which was a mistake. Should never do that. And then just instantly, and this is how crooked the brokerage industry is, really, really good analogy of how crooked the industry is. Instantly, they filled me on like 17 shares at my price of 101. 17 shares. Who the fuck gets filled on an odd lot like that? That doesn't make any sense at all. This was like for 400 or 500 shares or something. And instantly they jacked the price up. So they and because it was entered as a day order, I literally said, can you change this to a GTC order, CFO order? And it's, a reputable firm like, say, like Interactive Brokers or any of the brokerage houses I worked in. It's not even that big of a deal. But they're a little robot. Basically, there's nobody working at these places. I told you, all of these banks are going to transfer their whole infrastructure to the blockchain. And, you know, something like quote unquote customer service, that's just going to disappear in our society going forward. In fact, I thought it was really interesting. I'm still interested in picking up property in Portugal. And I was watching this video yesterday where they're like, customer service in Portugal? That doesn't exist. Nice try. Thank you. Come again. So, Jesus, crazy world. Anyway, so 103, 105. I mean, clearly they want me to balk and just CFO the order up to 105. And I might just have to do that, these cocksuckers. Or bite the bullet on the commission charge, which I think is like $5 or something like that. And I'm going to get filled $5 commission on a $17 trade, dickheads. Anyway, you can tell how Brian's a little bit salty here this morning. But anyway, I mean, interesting looking chart at the bottom end of the range. You know, this is everything that I kind of barked to you guys about. You know, obviously huge bullish divergences. RSI W's, Willie was stupid. I mean, yeah, you can see huge money flowed into this name on the pop up top, and then it just slowly drifted down, put in a W. And actually, this was a really good example of what we call an engulfing bar yesterday. Not quite a key reversal, but definitely a candlestick buy signal. And, you know, I had an alert set on a break above this high here at 98.7. And you can see they even left it with a gap. So you know this darn thing's going to come back down, fill in the gap at some point. It's just they know that they have my retail order sitting there at 101, and I'm happy to be long from around $1, especially that clothesline level right there. Totally happy to be along that, but I don't really want to have to just, you know, CFO. Look at the offer right now is 105. So I take 4 cents a share hit on for like 400 shares. Jerks. And of course, they're totally manipulating the stock. As soon as I go and change the order, instantly it'll trade right back down to the gap, and then they'll cross stock on their trading desk, and basically they just pocket the difference. And they know that this is the game that they're doing with me, which is pretty frustrating. Anyway, I don't know whether I'd really want to pay that 105 here today. But if you are interested in joining me, you know, throwing a bid down in this area, it's not a terrible idea. And remember, folks, I'm telling you, I mean, how many fucking Wall Street hedge funds actually come out and say, hey, everybody, this is the stock I'm buying today. If you want to join me, feel free to join me. Nobody does that. Nobody. And yet I do this on a daily basis with all of you guys. I don't care. I'm not going to tell you what to buy and sell, but I'll tell you what I'm trying to do. The fact that I'm being public about this, they'll probably ramp it up to $1.10, $1.20 just to piss me off. Anyway. All right, so that's something I was trying to do in Stockland. I was interested to see, but it looks like he's backing up. Oh, look at this. Oh, Jesus, this is the kind of day Brian's having. You notice I have my open order to sell half on a double on this ARPA, and I've had this order working a while. And look at what these guys are doing to me. This is, I think the trading gods are messing with my brain here. So anyway, our high here today, 6478. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I have my order over there on Binance at about 65 and change. But you can just see that the karma gods are just messing with my head here today. And then to add insult to injury, I even remember I specifically was barking on the site about how Fjord has a list of assets that he likes, and I don't quite understand. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. I was barking about how, you know, I don't want to chase rend, and I don't want to buy up markets. You know, Brian, I buy down markets. And I was pounding the table on the site. You got to step in and buy some of this A cash here. And then I go and ask if TRI bought any, and we didn't buy any down here. Ugh. So that's the kind of day Brian's having. A bit frustrated. So anyway, if anything, it's a good sign that Brian knows his shit. And if we get down at or below reload zones, and you start hearing Brian barking about things like bullish momentum divergences, maybe go and buy some, it's probably not a bad idea. Boom, big rally. Yeah, well. Let's see. So, kind of an odd start to your video here. I think I'll probably make this a relatively short video here today, so we're probably almost done. Talked a little bit about the breadth. Like I said, it was interesting to see that this might just roll over. It is sort of a semi-holiday today. I think probably the news du jour is, of course, these silly US politicians are kind of I get the impression that this is just politics, and it's almost like, yeah, we just keep playing the game. So the president of the United States and the U.S. Congress, which is controlled by the opposite political party, back at loggerheads over what the spending going forward is going to be, blah blah blah. I wouldn't be surprised, and always remember that the the market is built for the 1%. So, if you see big dumps in the market because of things like debt ceiling debates and all that kind of stuff, you always have to ask yourself are they actually dumping the market because of that, or is it because of derivatives and options and stuff like that? And are the dumps actually dumping price into buy windows for the 1%? And of course, the public freaks out, and they always do the wrong thing at the wrong time. It was interesting to see. I always wonder how these socialists are going to fund things. One easy way for the socialists to fund things is go and find companies just absolutely insane amounts of money. And you pay for your socialism through corporate tax, we'll call it. So I did find that a bit interesting. $1.3 billion, kaboom. Of course, that's just a drop in the bucket for these ridiculous runaway socialist spending regimes by these governments. Also, I think another sign of the times, what is the value of money? We used to years ago joke about how what does a world swimming in $10 trillion of liquidity look like? And how the Federal Reserve Board down in the States has like $7 trillion of basically deadbeat garbage bonds sitting on their balance sheet. That if they actually were forced to sell into the marketplace, they'd probably get maybe 5-10 cents on the dollar. But what a great analogy of basically the worthlessness of money. Kurt Cobain's broken guitar. I mean, this guitar, you can't even use it. And these kids, I mean, I remember this was my youth. They would just be on stage smashing guitars right, left, and center. It was, all the fun at the end of concerts and stuff to do. Sells for 600,000 US dollars. Give me a break. So yet another analogy of basically the worthlessness of money. Suppose that's just going to sit in some man cave's wall as a trophy. But 600 freaking grand? Holy moly. Just leaves you shaking your head, So, as I said, bit of a holiday-ish type session. I definitely think that the Rothschilds actually like to operate through countries like Canada. And Canada today technically is a holiday. Actually, I think I even had it on here. It's Queen Victoria's birthday. So people that are in the Commonwealth, I suppose you might be observing that. I notice, of course, all the locals they love the statutory holidays. They get to stay away a bit. So let's see. I think actually there was a couple other things that I bought. Didn't do any day trading. Day trading was, I guess I'm an extreme kind of guy. So, generally on speaking, I don't really like to take trades at the POC. I suppose you could make an argument on rallies up top of value up top here. You can see, man, there might have been an opportunity to short. And then conversely on stabs down to value low, might have been a good idea to buy, but you can kind of see today was kind of a big hurry up and do nothing kind of day in futures trading land. Also, too, you can see the percentage movements, very, very low volatility. So not a hell of a lot to do here today. And where's my little checklist? Just review if there's anything else that I did here that I should probably mention to you guys. So, sleep's getting a little bit better, I suppose. Actually, I put myself on a bit of an exercise routine, so I'm feeling a little bit better about that. See if doing the planking. I don't know whether you guys do any planking, but that's a great way to see how well you're doing. If you could, the rule is you're supposed to be able to plank for 2 minutes straight. It'd be interesting to see how many people watching this video could actually plank for 2 minutes straight. Tell you after about 20 seconds, I start to the lactic acids start to go crazy anyway. But if anything, good to see that Brian's at least getting off his fat ass and trying to do a little bit of exercise. So. Yeah, sleep was a little bit iffy this morning. I missed the opening range trades with Chris. Didn't get to bed till really late last night, so it was a little disappointing. But interesting to see, and this is actually what should happen probably 9 times out of 10. Every once in a while, that 10th trade, well, maybe not 9 times, maybe 8 times out of 10. That every once in a while, 1, 2 times out of 10, you get these kind of opening range trade setups that literally can make your month. Just one trade, boom. Opened outside of value. That was Friday. It was just a beautiful trade, but unfortunately, I missed it. Jerks. So I missed the opening range trade here this morning because of my sleep. If anything, this is a really good reason why I should get my ass over to Europe. At least the opening range trades a half decent time a day. For me here on the West Coast and in North America, it's horrible. Anyway. So 1-to-1, move your stop to scratch. Never did get up to 2-to-1. And boom, came right back down and stopped at scratch. But the issue here is that we were actually inside Friday's range. So technically there was no setup here this morning. And you can see the volatility, right? It's a pretty quiet day out there. It's like I said, kind of a semi-holiday. I think they call it statutory holiday here in Canada. I'm not sure what they call it overseas. Anyway, yeah. So there was where are we here? Yeah, there we go. So there's Friday's trading range. We were inside the range, so really technically there shouldn't have been a trade here. And if anything, it makes sense. Just got stopped at scratch. No big deal. So anyway, we'll check in on that in the days going forward. Also too, and I found that my trading actually is getting a lot better. Thank heavens. Always an adventure with trading. You go through sort of win streaks, lose streaks. How can you crisp things up? I did notice that 6 months ago or so, I was kind of taking a lot of trades at questionable levels. So now I force myself on a daily basis to check in. Number one, do we have half decent trade location on the 4-hour charts? Friday we did, and you can see in previous sessions, right, I was marking all this up. And I noticed that, hey, we're starting to get profitable handsomely. So it's good to see nice positive numbers there. But when I did the analysis this morning, there was just nothing, again, like I said earlier, volatility is very quiet in the market today. Didn't really have any levels that really jumped out at me. I like to start off this 4-hour chart. I mean, you can see this is my bread and butter. Oh my goodness. Love that kind of trade right into those levels. Here today, basically sitting right at settlement, sitting right at the moving averages. There's not much to do. So, and you can go through almost all of these markets, same sort of thing. I love when we're at extremes, especially the ATR script kind of idea, horizontal support and resistance. Fantastic levels. Like this is a really good example last week, that 4669. Oh my God, that was beautiful trade location. Here today though, nah, there's nothing to do. So, not much to do in futures land, not much to do in crypto. A little bit bummed that we missed some pretty good buying opportunities there recently, but really not much I can do about it. Trying to get in on names that I like. And I'm one of these guys that, I'm one of these open book kind of guys. I don't think you're going to find many people in Wall Street that are actually going to say, hey, look at this beautiful trade location, beautiful bull divs, good looking W's coming in on momentum, and I'm trying to buy this today. I don't think you're going to find many people in social media that even talk that way. So take it for whatever it's worth. The irony of it all, though, is I can't get filled. And what I used to say as a rule was I'm not allowed to talk about this with the public until I actually get my fill. So I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot here a little bit today. But anyway, what the hell? Yeah. All right, thank you. And then, as I said, when it comes to crypto, do have kind of a bearish leaning right now. Seasonally, this isn't really that good a time of year anyway. Of course, I've got a whole bunch of positions on just because, we're doing the little old lady canasta club plan. And, I'm just one of these guys that if I say I'm going to do something, I really want to try and do it. And of course, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody actually, I wouldn't even be surprised, to be honest with you, that actually people monitor my videos. And if they see me talking about something, notice how I started talking about this name and it started to back off. But anyway, if I'm really lucky, which I don't feel today. Today, I don't feel lucky at all. But what the hell? Fingers crossed. I think I showed you this before. If I'm lucky, I'll get my fill on this silly thing up top. There are those two Bitcoin positions that I was telling you about earlier. All right, now what the heck is going on here? I guess that's a different page. So I don't know whether I really gave you any value here today. There, that's the A cash, but actually, I'm seeing quite a few names starting to come down into attractive trade locations. There was another one that I picked up here. I don't know whether I'd be interested in any of those previous cycle names now. Did pick up a bit of that UBIC recently, though. I wouldn't mind picking up some of that Geo. This has always been an interesting project that's on the UBIC chain. It's part of their sort of verse. I mean, they're just throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And this, of course, is a Trex quote. So I don't know whether I believe that anyway. But if I could pick that up out in DeFi land, maybe Zug, if you're watching that, maybe we should go and buy some of this with some of the UBIC tokens that we bought recently. I don't know if we could do that or not. Anyway. So I think it's kind of like it's almost like it's like a holiday session kind of day here. It sure feels that way. Very light trading. And yeah, I think there was one or two other names that actually looked interesting. This POLS tried to put in a double bottom yesterday. Interesting how he couldn't break out there. I was tempted to go and pick up some of this if we could actually get that double bottom breakout. So that never came in. But I did actually go just averaging down for the little old lady canasta club plan. I picked up a little bit more of this VGX down here because he did put in that little double bottom. I don't know whether it's going to hold now or not. But anyway, I picked some originally up off of this level, picked up a little bit more on the test of the lows. And I mean, I suppose we can change this to like a regular chart. Does this thing have any chance of making any money down the road here for us? My average is down here at about 24 cents. I could very easily see into the middle of the summer we go up and test these highs. Should be able to get a double off on that. So, all right, I think that's probably it for today. I didn't really mention anything sort of, I did mention the little bit of news, but it really wasn't really newsworthy. Things like, Facebook fines and, politicians doing their thing. And there really isn't any news really to report here. I thought maybe I had the news feed up here. So again, kind of a light session. You can see stocks muted. They're talking about this US debt limit, but the funny thing is that this is kind of a made up political event. But anyway, I'm sure the market's trying to inject some volatility, trying to get you to act in an emotional way. They will blame it on the debt ceiling crowd. And actual news, like actual econs, there's nothing here today. So it's very, very quiet. Okay, so there's your market summary. I don't know whether there was any value or not. Hit the like button, subscribe, ring our bell to get notified when these things do come out. We're going to try really hard to make sure that these notifications get sent out on our social media feeds going forward, which I think would be a good idea for these daily videos as well. And that's your market summary for today. So PMA for the win, slow and steady wins the race. And don't take no wooden nickels. Have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now.